Hey, what's up guys, it's Banu here from Andro.com, and this is the all-new Samsung Galaxy A70. With this device, Samsung is actually trying to balance out the price to performance ratio, and also with this device, Samsung is targeting the upper mid-range market. I have actually been using the A70 for about the past 10 to 14 days, and in this video I'm going to be sharing with you my impressions after using this device for almost 2 weeks. So if you guys are interested in knowing my review of the Galaxy A70, definitely go ahead and smash that like button down below, and let's get started with today's video. Let's start off this review by first talking about the design of the Samsung Galaxy A70. If you have a look at the design of the A70, it looks quite similar to the design of the A50 that Samsung launched before, and it's not as funky as the A80. Just like with the A50, even the A70 has a subtle gradient at the back, which you will notice if you shift the phone around a little bit. I have the blue color variant of the A70, and this actually puts out a rainbow effect when I shine a light on it. Samsung is actually offering the Galaxy A70 in 4 colors, that is black, blue, white and coral. Now turning the phone around, at the front of the A70 is the star of this phone, and that is a 6.7 inch Infinity U display. Let that sink in for a bit. It's a 6.7 inch display. I know it's huge. I mean, here's a comparison between the palm of my hand and the A70. There is a thin bezel at the front of the A70, and at the top there is a selfie camera in the Infinity U screen. Despite the large footprint of the A70, the device is only 183 grams in weight. The polycarbonate body with all the curves in the right places make the phone look sleek and modern. The A70 also has an optical fingerprint sensor placed underneath the display, and there is Corning Gorilla Glass 3 protection on top of the display. The A70 also has a triple card slot, a USB Type-C port and also a headphone jack. When I'm using the A70 in my hand, it feels a bit big, but it actually fits my hand perfectly. I have always been a large screen phone person. I've used the Galaxy Note series quite a lot, so having a phone this big in my hand is always a pleasure. Even though the A70 has a 6.7 inch display and that the device has a large footprint, the device doesn't feel that big in the hand. In my hand, it actually feels just right. All the buttons are in the right place, so if I'm using the right hand, I still have good access to the power button as well as the volume buttons, but sometimes to reach the volume up button I had to move the phone around a little bit in my hand to get it right in the spot. Those are the only buttons on the right side of the A70, and on the left side of the A70 there's nothing but a SIM card tray. At the top we have a secondary noise cancellation microphone, and at the bottom we have the speaker, the microphone, the USB Type-C port as well as the headphone jack. At the front of the Galaxy A70, Samsung is using a quality Super AMOLED display, and because of the big size of this phone, we have a lot of room to appreciate it. The aspect ratio on the A70 is 20:9, and the screen has 2400 by 1080 pixel resolution that makes it fairly crisp. Now that we have finished talking about the design of the A70, now let's go ahead and talk about the cameras of the A70. At the back, the A70 has a triple camera setup, and at the front we have a single selfie camera. First off, talking about the triple rear camera setup, at the back there is a 32 megapixel primary camera with an aperture of f1.7. Along with that, we also have an 8 megapixel ultra wide angle sensor which is able to capture shots of 123 degrees with an aperture of f2.2. The third camera on the A70 is a 5 megapixel depth sensor with an aperture of f2.2. And for all of you selfie lovers, the selfie camera is a 32 megapixel camera. The camera app and the experience on the Galaxy A70 is similar to the camera experience on other A series smartphones as well as other recently released Samsung smartphones. We have features like the scene optimizer, live focus on portrait mode, flaw detection and many other features that are packed into this phone. Samsung has also included 240 frames per second slow motion video at 1080p, which should be fun to play around. The A70 can also shoot 4K videos at 30 frames per second from both the front and rear cameras. In broad daylight, the shots taken with the A70 were quite good. But when the light started going down, the pictures weren't so good. Something that I realized after using the A70 for a bit is that the dynamic range on the A70 could have been better. My favorite part about shooting with the A70 is using that ultra wide angle camera to shoot some amazing pictures. So here are some camera samples from the Galaxy A70 itself, so you can go ahead and judge the quality of the A70 by looking at these pictures. And here's a video sample shot with the A70 as well. Now let's talk about the performance on the A70. The Samsung Galaxy A70 is powered by the Qualcomm Snapdragon 675 system on chip. Samsung has paired that Qualcomm chip with 6GB of RAM as well as 128GB of internal storage. Like I mentioned before, there is also a micro SD card slot over here in the SIM card tray, and that can hold up to another 512GB. Day-to-day activities on the A70 were quite okay, and I really don't have much to complain about there. Here's a look at some of the benchmark scores on the A70 so that you can judge the score yourself. I also played some games on the A70 and it was able to handle games like PUBG and Asphalt without much issue, and I was able to enjoy the game without any problem. After all, since this is an upper mid-range smartphone with more intensive games coming in the future, we don't know how long the Snapdragon 675 processor will hold up. Talking about the software, the Galaxy A70 packs Android 9 Pie along with One UI version 1.1. If you have been using a previous generation Samsung device, using One UI on this device is definitely gonna be quite refreshing for you. There are a ton of features packed into One UI, and that actually enhances the performance on the A70, and also it actually lets you make full use of this big 6.7-inch display. Talking about One UI, I have actually made a tips video for those of you who are interested in knowing how to make the maximum out of your Galaxy A30, A50, A70 or A80. So if you are interested in some awesome tips for your new Galaxy device, definitely go ahead and check out that video. I'll have a link for that down below in the description. Now moving on from the performance to the battery life. The battery life on the A70 was also surprisingly quite good. I think that has a lot to do with the 4000 mAh battery that is packed into this device, and I really enjoyed the fast charging that is packed into the A70. The massive 4500 mAh battery that is packing inside the A70 is one of my favorite things about this smartphone because it's able to last quite a long time. Not only that, the A70 also has a 25-watt fast charger that is able to quickly charge up the phone when the battery drains. There are also power saving options that are built into the phone that you can actually make use of to increase the endurance on your device. Overall, in the time that I tested the A70, I felt like the battery life was quite good, even though this device actually has a much bigger display. I think especially thanks to that 4500 mAh battery, it was able to hold up for an entire day's worth of use with the A70. So I was actually using the A70 as one of my primary phones in my pocket in my review period, and I really didn't have much to complain about the A70 with regards to the battery life. Finally, let's talk about the price of the Galaxy A70. I'm pretty sure that it's going to be one of the main deciding factors for a lot of you. Officially here in Sri Lanka, the A70 is sold for 74,990 Sri Lankan rupees, and it comes with Samsung's warranty as well. But I saw in some local shops that it's even available for around 69,000 Sri Lankan rupees. So definitely to go ahead and check around for you to get the best deal on the A70. Now that I've actually used the A70 for almost 2 weeks, you might be wondering whether I actually recommend the smartphone. Well, it's like this. The A70 is an upper mid-range smartphone that has a very good balance of a lot of things. If you like a very big screen smartphone, then this A70 might be the one for you. Especially considering the price that it comes in. It has a lot to offer with the triple camera setup, the large battery with great battery life, but also like every other smartphone, it also has some drawbacks. So let's break down the pros and the cons of the A70 over here. The first pro for me is the big display on the A70. The second is the good battery life that the A70 packs. Third is the experience of One UI and how awesome it runs on this device. The design is also definitely something good. Now let's talk about some of the cons of the A70. The first one is I actually didn't enjoy the in-display fingerprint scanner on the A70 that much. It was quite a bit slow in my usage, and I really hope Samsung will fix it up with a software update. The lack of OIS and EIS on this device will be a deal breaker for a lot of you who are trying to shoot videos on the A70. The low light camera performance on the A70 wasn't also that good, so I definitely have to put that as a con for the A70 as well. Like I elaborated before, the A70 has some pros and cons like every other smartphone. Eventually, the decision is up to you whether you want to go ahead and pick this one up or not. Let me know by dropping a comment down below what your favorite feature of the Galaxy A70 is, and if you're actually considering picking this one up. If you're looking for a good smartphone in the upper mid-range section, then this could be a great pick. Or if this device doesn't have much wow factor in this, then definitely try to upgrade for the new Galaxy A80, which I will have a dedicated video review as well as more awesome videos on that device coming soon right here on Andro Dollar. So definitely smash that subscribe button if you want to see the funky A80 in action here on Andro Dollar with that awesome rotating camera at the top. So let me know if you guys would love to see that by dropping a comment as well. And also definitely go ahead and share my review of the Galaxy A70 with all of your friends, or with a friend who might be looking for a good mid-range smartphone to pick up in 2019. If you guys found this review helpful, definitely go ahead and smash that like button. You can follow me on social media. I am at Andro Dollar, or the links are given down below in the description. And stay tuned to androdollar.com for all the latest from the tech world. Until I see you guys in my next video, this is Banu.